Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Noir Skin, where I discuss all things sustainable beauty and skincare. My name is Chandra and I am the creator of the UNICEUTICALS film strip. So I'm back with a video today because I had a question from a commenter on a previous video entitled, "See How It Travels." And if you didn't see that video, I will link it in the description box below and put it in the comment section as well so you could check it out. And the question I got asked was in reference to my little product box here. And commenter at The Real Coach KJ asked, does this packaging actually protect the films from any moisture? And that's what I'm here to discuss today. I'm going to do a couple water tests to see how this little box holds up. And thank you so much at The Real Coach KJ for that question. These questions are so helpful for me because it really does help guide the process of development for these products. Now, I did respond to this question directly in the comment section of that previous video, but I wanted to make a separate video just kind of explaining further in depth about these product boxes specifically. So this little guy here is made of 100% plant-based materials, i.e. paper. It is 35% recycled paper and 65% virgin paper. Now, originally I wanted to use 100% post-consumer recycled paper for these product boxes. Unfortunately, that does come with a bit of a trade-off, and the biggest trade-off is durability. When you're working with recycled content, particularly paper, it does lose its strength over time if it's been processed, 2, 3, 4, however many times it's been run through the mill. The paper fibers themselves aren't as durable and they don't have the same strength as virgin fibers. So when you're talking about using recycled content, particularly for packaging, you have to be very wary of the durability aspect of it, particularly in how it's used. And because I want these boxes to be used every day, you would be removing the tab here every single day. You want to have some strength in your paper fibers. And you just don't get that as much if you were using 100% recycled paper. I do want to boost it up from 35%. That is a goal of mine because I think that we can get really good traction with 50% recycled paper. But for right now, we're starting off with 35% recycled paper and 65% virgin paper. Now, as far as texture and thickness is concerned, these product boxes are very similar to your standard cereal box. It's the same thickness, the same tensile strength and durability as your cereal box. However, unlike those cereal boxes, there's no moisture lining, there's no moisture protection, I should say, for the products inside of the box. So normally your cereal boxes will have a plastic bag on the inside, and that's where the food is being kept. That plastic bag is really what protects your food items from getting wet, from having moisture get into it before you start to eat it, from keeping bugs out and everything. But there is no such lining or moisture protection for these boxes. There's no lamination on them. There is no plastic lining. So there's really nothing to protect the films themselves from getting moisture into them, at least not from the box's standpoint. I did that on purpose. So really what I wanted to focus on was the afterlife of these product boxes, where they're going to end up after you finish using them. And I found that when you start lining or laminating your packaging with any type of moisture protecting materials, it instantly becomes unrecyclable for a lot of people in a lot of different areas in the country. Not all recycle centers are the same, and most of them, I should say, can't really separate your paper-based material from that moisture protecting material. So I wanted something that was going to be easy to recycle and that can actually be recycled. So the whole point of formatting my skincare products in this way and using the paper-based packaging without any lamination or plastic liner or moisture proofing is to ensure the recyclability of my products after use. Once you've dropped it in the recycling bin, marked for paper waste, of course, hopefully it gets to the recycling center. They can recycle these boxes and reuse the paper material. But if this does, for whatever reason, wind up in the landfill, at least then it won't be as damaging or as harmful as, say, a plastic bottle or jar. Now, the downside to not using any lamination or moisture proofing on these product boxes, or rather inside of them, is that there's nothing really to protect the films from getting moisture or getting wet prematurely. However, I'm going to be testing 3 different real life scenarios that I think these product boxes might get wet or become wet. Now, I think that about covers it for these product boxes. I've covered all of my bases and I'm ready to start my moisture test. But before I do, I'm going to ask everyone watching this video to please subscribe to my channel, Noir Skin, and like this video so that the YouTube gods can find me. So like I said, I'm going to be performing 3 different water or moisture tests to see how these boxes fare. And what I really want to do is recreate 3 different real life scenarios in which I believe these product boxes may get or become wet. The first test I'm going to try is the steam test. I want to recreate a bathroom scenario. So let's say you have these product boxes in your shower or near your tub, somewhere where they might get wet. I'm going to see how this box protects the films from getting any moisture inside. And for the second test, I want to do what I like to call the surface spill. So let's say you put your product box down on your countertop and you didn't realize that there was like spilled water or some type of liquid or something like that, and you put the box right into that spilled waste. Obviously the box got wet, and that is a very common scenario that I want to recreate. Now for the third and final test, which I would consider to be the grand finale, I'm going to do a full-on submersion of this product box. So let's say you're in the tub and you're soaking and you accidentally knock this product box into the tub with you. A common scenario that I thought might happen, and I want to see how this box protects the film up to about 15 to 30 seconds. We'll start there.
Before I get started, I just wanted to show you an up-close shot of the product boxes that I've been working with. This is the same box prototype that I took with me on my recent holiday trip, and I just wanted to show it to you up close before it incurs any more damage. So this is the front of the box, and how you would access your films is through the bottom here. There's this little tab that pops open like so, and that exposes your film strips. And to remove, you simply take your finger and pull out the first available strip like that, and that is your product. And to close it back, you'd simply tuck this tab right back in here into this little opening. Now, I didn't record a video of me opening the box originally, but there is this additional tab piece here, a half moon tab, that allows you to catch it so you could pop open like so. And then you would just remove it once you're done with it. But I didn't record that originally, so I wanted to make sure I explained what that was, what this dent is in this video. But just for scale, I wanted to show you how it looks in your hand. So it's not a super large box at all. It holds about 180 film strips, so that's enough for about 3 months worth of product for morning and evening use. And that's the box. So this is the inside of the product box, and I just wanted to show you what it looks like with the full set of films in here. I did add a couple more, which is why you see those irregular curved ones at the top, just to show you what a full box set looks like. There's 180 in here, but I will be removing about half of them, just because I don't want to ruin the whole batch for the moisture test. I am still using these prototypes and developing the product, so I didn't want to use all of my samples in this one water test. But I think half a box should about do it, and we'll go from there. But I just wanted to show you what it looks like on the inside. All right, so I'm all set for my first test. This is the steam test, and I've got my steamer all ready to go. It is about 12 inches from the box. I know you can't see that, but just have that for reference. And I'm going to steam for about 1 minute, and we'll see where that gets us. So starting the timer now.
And that's my timer. So that took quite a beating. So this is the box. It's got a little, actually it's not super wet. It's just a little damp. Let's see how they did. Huh? They're still there. They're still there. I'm trying to hold the box. Actually, let me come out and come back in because I'm trying to hold this camera steady as well as the box. So give me 1 second. Okay, so now I'm back. So the film itself, this is the first one. I didn't pull it all the way out, just pulled it out just enough. It's still pretty dry. It doesn't feel like anything's happened to it. I would imagine a minute of direct steam wouldn't do much for these products, or for the boxes, I should say. But that's not too bad. I'm actually going to let this go for about 5 to 10 minutes, and I'm just going to let the camera run on the box while the steam is going. We'll see what happens with these films then. I think that'd be a bit more accurate. Oh, sorry guys, I forgot to say, I've restarted my timer. This is for 5 minutes, and I'm going to turn the box every few seconds or so, just so it gets an even distribution of steam.
So this is the box. It's definitely expanded from all that heat. You can definitely tell there's some expansion here in the flaps, but let's see how these products fare. Jeez, I'm gonna see if I can't remove it. Oh my God, they're only a little wet. Right here at the bottom. Doesn't feel super wet, just feels like it got a little damp, but not too bad, not too bad. The bottom of the box obviously got wet, as you can see here. But the films themselves, fairly dry, fairly dry. And the moisture is about dry off of this. I don't really feel anything anymore. So that was 5 minutes. My camera did cut out a couple times. Yeah, like just like that. It didn't occur to me that I could actually not record the entire steaming process. I could have just left this box under the steam and set it on a timer and then just been done with that. Didn't cross my mind until just now, so I think that's what I'm gonna do. But this is about 5 minutes of direct steam, and this is the damage that has occurred. I was going to do a little bit longer and maybe another 5 minutes just to give it a more realistic time span. Let's say you're in the shower for at least 10 to 15 minutes. But doing another 5-minute video would make this 10 minutes total of steaming. So I think I'm gonna go for it. I mean, the box is pretty well banged up, but why not? And then after that, I'll move on to the next test. So I'll be back. So this is what the box looks like after an additional 5 minutes. It is quite expanded, as you can see. Not the best, and it did get quite a bit wet here at the bottom. I'm trying to show that glare from where it was sitting here. And as you can see, this whole area got wet. So I'm going to test now the films to see how they did. Actually, oh God, they all flipped. They all flipped. You can see that there. Yeah, there we go. They've all flipped on their sides. But I want to take it out of the box to see how they feel. And I was turning the box around so it got even steam. Oh my God, these are dry. Holy crap, these are dry. Yeah, none of them feel wet. Impressive. And I'm impressed. I'm absolutely very impressed. I am sad though that all of my films flipped to the side. I think I was a little too aggressive as I was turning it. Oh, but also too, there's not a full set of films in here as I was like moving it around. But that is something I need to be aware of, because if you don't have a full set of films in here and there is a lot of movement, it can get flipped around. But I mean, not a huge deal breaker. We're here to test the box anyway, so I won't get sidetracked. So this is what the box looks like after. Okay, my bad, y'all. I am not that tech savvy. But this is what the box looks like up close after about 10 minutes of direct steam. Now, I don't imagine anyone would incur this much damage with their product box because the likelihood of it being under direct steam for that long is pretty slim, even if you are using it in the shower or near your bathtub. I just wanted to show you what the box looks like after 10 minutes of direct steaming from about 12 inches away. And of course, all of my films are just all over. All right, for my next test, I'm going to do the surface spill. So this is what I was talking about, like if you accidentally set your product box into a spill that you didn't see. Luckily, this is my cutting board, which you can see the water perfectly. So I'm just going to set this right here, and I'm going to add a little bit of water to it as well. And I'm also going to time it for about a minute to see
how it does. You set this, and I'll be back. Okay, the minute is up and it got pretty soaked. There's water leaking from the box, and it already was weakened by the steam, so I'd imagine it probably wasn't going to do the best at protecting the films. But let's see what we got here. The films are still in there. See if we can pull anything out. Now you can see that they're a little bit wet at the bottom, but they're still fairly dry. Oh, hang on. I spoke too soon. Let's get here. So they are starting to degrade, as you can see right here in the box itself. So, oh, it's like a sticky mess. I can't even pull them out. So this is what it looks like if you were to set this box down into a surface of water or any type of liquid. You can tell your films aren't going to do that well. A couple of them might be saved, but not that many. But I will put that disclaimer out there. This box did sit for about 10 minutes under direct steam, so I'd imagine it wasn't going to do a very good job at protecting these films. But now we know. You know what I just thought of? I should have let this box completely dry in between tests before I did this. That didn't cross my mind until just now, so I'm going to let this dry out a little bit, probably overnight, and I will continue with number 3. I'll probably have to change out these strips though once everything is dry, but yeah. So I'm back a couple days later. I let this box completely dry out. So this is what it looks like after test number 2, which is the water spill test, and also the steaming test that I did. It dried out nicely. It still works. It's a little stiff here, but the functionality is still there. But I'm going to open up the box from the inside so you can see what the films look like from there. Pop this open. So this is what the films look like here. They are stuck. See if I can pull. Oh my gosh, I can't. That is what it looks like when they get wet. So the box is still fairly in good use. If this were to happen to me and I were to spill water on this box and get my films wet like this, I would immediately remove them. I didn't do that the last time I was filming just because it was so gross and mucky. It was very hard to remove the films. But I would imagine if you kind of let them dry out for a couple minutes and catch them before they get stuck to the paper. But I did leave these to dry overnight in the product box. And that is why there's paper stuck to them. Yeah, this is a no-go. I don't know. Let me know if you would still use these if you got them wet. I still would use them. I mean, the top part is still pretty well protected, or still well untouched, I should say, or unwaterlogged. But it's just here at the bottom. So I would actually just peel. Oops, no, I wouldn't. Peel them here and use them that way. But that's good to know. It's good to know that what happens when they get wet. So I'm going to move on to test number 3, which is the full-on submersion. I am going to use the same film strips here. I'm just going to flip it upside down just because I don't want to waste any product doing this. So yeah, I will be back with that test next. Just showing you.
So I did what I could to remove the paper bits here, but this was about the best I could get because I really just couldn't grab the paper from the films. So like I said, if your films get wet prematurely, I highly recommend that you remove them from the box as quickly as possible and then separate them and let them dry out that way so you can still use them so that they don't get stuck together. Because the materials that these films are made of is pullulan, which is a polysaccharide from plants, it will stick together once it gets wet. So it's literally molded together, if you can see here. To avoid that, just remove the strips from the box, separate them out so that they can dry individually, and then you can reinsert them back into the box. I'm going to reinsert them back into the box. I'm going to show you how. So this is what it looks like opened. So you're just going to drop the films into this little opening here. I'm going to put them in upside down just so that the top is now at the bottom and then the bottom is now at the top so that they don't get wet immediately from the bottom. And then you just kind of push this little tongue piece back in, and then you put this top part back in, fold it down, and then there you have it. Your box is completely reconstructed again. And you would remove them from the bottom, the films I mean from the bottom. But obviously that's not gonna work this time because they're stuck together at the bottom here or at the top now. So they wouldn't be removed. But I just wanted to show you how to put them back in once you remove them from the box. So now I'm gonna get started on my third test, the water submersion test. I didn't put these in there just because they broke off as I was removing the paper, but just so you're aware. So now I'm ready to get started. So now I'm ready for my third and final test, the water submersion test. So this setup is a little bit different from what I was shooting earlier. That area of my kitchen was just too narrow to have like the camera stand and the light and everything else. It was too much. So I'm just gonna come back out here to an open area and record this portion of the video. So this is a clear bowl of water. I'm actually going to submerge my product box into this water with the film strips in there for about 15 to 30 seconds. So I'm gonna start my timer now, and then we're gonna see how it looks or how these films look after about 15 seconds. So starting now. That going. Okay, my time is up. The box got pretty wet. And I'm pretty sure how I know this is going to end up. The films are going to be absolutely soaked because the tab got soaked. And lo and behold, yes. They're stuck in there like they were before. I'm just going to remove it from the top instead of the bottom. And that was 15 seconds, and this box is pretty much done for. I mean, it's just been run through the ringer. And yep, the films themselves are pretty much soaked. So now we know that this box cannot handle a full-on submersion, at least, you know, after being abused for 10 minutes under steam. And of course, sat in a puddle of water. It's just not gonna go well for you. So I highly recommend keeping this box and these films out of reach of any kind of water. Don't let them get too hot because extra moisture from the air also can degrade the films. Not as bad as this, as like obviously a full-on submersion, but yeah, just keep dry until use so we could avoid this here. And this box it's over. It's over. But let me know what you think, if this is a product that you would use, if I did something that you would like to try, or that I didn't do something that you would like to try or know about. Please let me know down in the comments because all of that is highly, highly welcome.